Hey Phoenicians, welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring one of the most misunderstood and often terrifying aspects of mental illness: hallucinations in schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a complex mental health condition that affects how a person thinks, feels, and experiences the world. One of the most distressing symptoms are hallucinations. These are sensory experiences that feel real but aren't to anyone other than the one who experiences them. This sounds terrifying, doesn't it? These hallucinations can be visual, auditory, tactile, or even olfactory. They aren't just seeing things, they're often intense, frightening, and deeply personal. Today we're going to discuss 10 of the most chilling hallucinations people with schizophrenia have reported. And it's not to sensationalize, but to help you understand what they go through. So one of the most common and terrifying hallucinations involves voices commanding harm. These voices are relentless, aggressive, and hard to ignore. I remember one time when I was in a training, they had someone demo what this might be like. So I was sitting, and then there was another person here just talking at me and saying horrible things. And as I was talking to the other person, this person just continued talking at me. And it was really unsettling, and it was a really good way as well for us to understand what that could be like, just for a little while. And then there's some people who see dark, human-like shapes lurking in corners or watching them from a distance. A terrifying blend of paranoia and visual distortion. So again, let's just imagine what that could be like. So if we just for a moment thought that we were being followed, or someone was watching us, or we just, we saw shadows in the corner, that just imagining that would be quite scary. So again, it's important to try and understand what that could be like for someone who's really going through that. This one's also gonna kind of freak you out a little bit maybe. This sensation, it's known as formication. It makes people feel like insects are moving beneath their skin, leading to compulsive scratching and distress. Again, if you've seen that in a film, it's quite scary. And then there's this one, where some report seeing or sensing someone else, a stranger, living in their home or following them, even though there's no one there. It's a bit like the other one we talked about, but yeah, imagine that in your home. And then we've got the one where in moments of stress, some people see grotesque or horrifying faces, sometimes in mirrors, on loved ones, or in crowds. And again, I think we've all seen these kinds of things in horror films if you watch them. It is distressing, it is scary, it's horrifying, but we know that we're watching a film. Imagine if that was your reality. And then there's this eerie experience where people can feel like they're being mocked by someone, or people are conspiring against them, even when the person might be on their own. And then for others, objects may shift or melt, the room may breathe. These experiences distort the person's entire sense of reality and safety. And, who can blame them? That sounds scary. And then for some people, they might smell burning flesh, gas leaks, or rotting food. This can trigger panic and fear, even when there's nothing there. And then there's the one where people think that their thoughts are being broadcast. Now, this hallucination blurs into delusion because it's a belief that others can hear their thoughts, or that they're being controlled by external forces. And then yet for others, there's the one where sometimes a familiar face can suddenly appear threatening or even alien. This creates profound fear and isolation, understandably. So as you can see, these hallucinations aren't just terrifying, they seem quite exhausting as well. They affect how someone functions, whether they can trust, and how they relate to the world around them. But why? Why does it happen? Hallucinations in schizophrenia occur due to changes in brain chemistry and structure, particularly involving dopamine, sensory processing, and cognitive control. But what's more important is this. People with schizophrenia are not dangerous. They're often afraid, overwhelmed, and misunderstood. And we can see why when we consider what they're going through a lot of the time. So treatment helps. With medication, therapy, support systems, and compassion, people living with schizophrenia can lead meaningful, connected lives. And it's important to remember that they need support, empathy, understanding, and safety. Think about how all of what they experience is fearful. They need to feel supported and safe, and this is a major part of their treatment, if you ask me. So, if this video helps you understand more about schizophrenia, please like, share and subscribe, and help us spread awareness without stigma, because people who suffer with conditions like schizophrenia are more likely to be harmed by others than to cause harm. So mental illness deserves understanding, not fear, as do the people who experience it. Now, what are your thoughts about these hallucinations? Were you surprised, moved, scared? Drop a comment, and remember, awareness saves lives. And subscribe for more psychology insights and mental health awareness.